Hi everybody and welcome to episode 2 of the Woolley Geek. It's actually 1:02 a.m. on Saturday morning, I forgot what day it is, December 8th, I think? Yes, December 8th, Saturday morning. I am really late recording this episode. I was going to record a few hours ago, and I got busy and then tired, and then it was all of a sudden, oh my god, it's getting late, I have to record. But I do want to say thank you to those who viewed the podcast last week. I hope you enjoyed it. So a huge thank you to Arlen, Diane, and Christy who saw the podcast last week. Arlen was kind enough to leave a comment. Diane left a comment on the Facebook. And yeah, it was really great. So I really appreciate the viewers. So if you joined me last week, thank you and welcome back. If you are joining me again this week, welcome, and I hope you enjoy the Woolley Geek. What this is my name is Holly, also known as the Woolley Geek on Blogspot. It's where I keep my blog, my written blog. My show notes are also posted there, and then I cross post on YouTube. And I also am Silver Moon Witch on Facebook and Plurk, so you can find me on either spots of those. This video does come up on YouTube, so if you like it, please give me a thumbs up and drop a comment below, and that's greatly appreciated because it makes me come up a little quicker in searches. So, getting right into the show, I have a lot to cover this week. And I'm really tired, so I hope I don't miss anything. I do have my notes. I have found this wonderful journal that I picked up, by the way, for $4.99 at Michael's Arts and Crafts. I just happened to be there. I had to get some more yarn for the knit-along for Carrie Steinmetz, and so I picked this up, and this is where, I keep my show notes. So yes, I keep handwritten show notes. As tech-oriented as I am, I'm about to graduate with my bachelor's degree on January 4th. Classes finish up this week with my information security degree. I actually do IT security, but I still keep pen and paper notes because, hello, best backup plan ever. No disk to be corrupted, lost, or, destroyed in Cyberland somewhere. Pen and paper, best ever. Never, never, never leave home without it. So, just one of those go-to things. But drawing. We had a drawing this week. I kind of announced it late. I didn't announce it in the podcast last week because it's sort of between the last time I recorded and this time. We had some things come up. So, in case anybody wanted to participate in Carrie's memorial, there is going to be a knitting vigil tomorrow during her memorial at noon. So from noon to 1, if you're participating in the cow for, the cow is for any one of Carrie's patterns. Crosswords at the coffee shop is the one that I'm gifting. It was one that sort of just all around was Carrie. She enjoyed going to the coffee shop. She enjoyed knitting. When she wasn't knitting in the coffee shop, she was doing crossword puzzles. So that really was just like about Carrie. And she wrote the pattern. So that's the one I'm gifting. It is worth $5 on Ravelry. So to announce the winners, well, we only had 2 people commented this week, and they're a couple. And so that was Arlen and Diane, who are in Boise. So Arlen and Diane from Boise, congratulations. I will gift the pattern to you. You can actually contact me on Ravelry. Both of Diane, I know for sure you're you have friended me on Ravelry. Arlen, if I don't see you on Ravelry, maybe you don't have an account, but either contact me on Ravelry or Facebook, because you're also both on my knitting page on Facebook. And let me know if you already have that pattern, or if there's another pattern that you would like. That pattern was $5 on Ravelry, so any $5 pattern that you pick, or maybe you have one in your queue you'd rather have, let me know, and I will give that to you. So contact me as soon as you can, and I will get that to you. So congratulations, y'all. You got a pattern. Fabulous. So Let me adjust my lighting a little bit more over here. There we go. YouTube helps out a little bit, but they can't do a whole lot. So moving right along into works in progress, I actually have, and I have it currently in my Loopy U bag. This is the sweater that I talked about last week, but I had so little done of it that I didn't even bother to show it. It's seen a little love this week. I'm actually in the middle of a row, so I might knit on it a little bit while we chat. But it's kind of a bulky-ish chenille thread, and this is horrible skein, but I had actually frogged it back and started it again because I had made a mistake and it was so early on. I had almost finished the skein, but I frogged it back. So this is in a lovely green. I am missing the ball band on that, so I will give you the information on this next week. But it's this really soft, bulky chenille, and the pattern is in a magazine in my car, because again, I'm really weird and I keep car knitting. It's strange. I'll explain car knitting at some point too. But I do keep projects in the car when I go places, especially this time of year when I'm shopping and I'm standing in line at Walmart or you know, the grocery store around the corner. You know, you're standing in line. I'm impatient, and I worked retail for 12.5 years, and I'm a cranky woman. I really am. I will be the first to admit it. And if I have something to do with my hands while I'm waiting in line to check out or whatever, like knitting, I'm much happier. I tend to leave people alone. So I try to make sure, and I'm sure people that work in retail stores in my area probably appreciate the fact that I have knitting so that I'm not complaining. So I keep it with me. And I am in between a row. Right now it's going to be, there's really not a whole lot to this cardigan. It is going to be 14 inches of 1x1 broken rib. So I haven't done a whole lot. I've done maybe what, 1.5 inches maybe. But it's really soft, bulky-ish yarn, nice to work with. I'm enjoying it. I want to say these are size 10 boy circular needles, and for this project they're fine. I don't mind boy aluminum needles. I've used them frequently. Heck, I've grown up with boy needles. It's one of those brands that's just readily available, was readily available in the box stores, and so I don't mind at all using them as I knit along while we talk. But I have discovered that for magic looping, I did just start magic looping this week. They are a pain in the arse. First of all, the box stores in my area do not seem to want to carry circular needles in any size cable, in a size 1 or a 0, which is usually what I knit socks on. So one of my works in progress is actually a pair of socks that I've started out of boredom, and I love the color. And they're being knitted on boy size 2. Wow, I'm in the middle of a row on that too. I'll go figure. And there's actually a little bit of a story behind these. It's kind of amusing. But it's boy size 2. And there's the colorway. These are Croy Socks Effects by Patons. I just like these. It's inexpensive yarn. It's washable wool and nylon, 75-25 washable wool and nylon. So it's just a really cool go-to quick buy, inexpensive sock yarn that wears well. It is called Clover Colors. I just really like, I'm still kind of in the fall scene here with the colors, with the reds and going into the greens and light greens. I just really like it. So that's what, I've got 2 skeins of it. This is the toe on one working up to the foot. And I'm probably going to do an afterthought heel on this. And it's shaped a little weird right now because I'm in the middle of a row, but let me just pop that out there. There we go. And I love the way the FX socks. I love the way the color pulls. I love the way it stripes when it stripes. This is another sock that I'm working on the afterthought heel. I showed this last week. This one stripes, this one doesn't. Both are Croy FX patterns, just different colorways. I just really like them. I'm actually going pretty well on the afterthought heel on this one. I have some mistakes, like I started the afterthought heel going in the wrong direction, which gave me this lovely pearl bump all the way around. So part of the reason why I started these is there's some mistakes in this, and I'm not at this point, I'm not gonna rip it out. I'm not gonna rip it out. And sorry, it is 1 in the morning, so I'm really tired. I'm just gonna deal with it. They're for me. These I'm gonna be wearing. They're for me. These are on size 0s. I mean, I've got like a little pucker here of a little mistake that I made in here, and yeah, stitch there, and then of course, you know, the afterthought heel. What was I thinking? As soon as I did it, I'm like, I'm so not ripping back. These stitches are really tiny. I am not ripping back. I'll deal with it. Haven't decided if I'm gonna make the matching sock correct, or if I'm just gonna try to dupe the mistakes so they look fine. I'm probably gonna make it correct because they're down on my shoes anyway. Who's gonna care? So anyway, that's these. So these are sort of kind of the hibernation. I was watching Diane from the Knittables earlier today, and these were close at hand, so I just grabbed these and worked on them rather than going and grabbing one of my other like projects that I'm happy with. So these sit here at the computer when I'm gaming. I knit. I knit when I game. Flight paths are really great, especially when you're on the flight path. If you play World of Warcraft and you're on one of the longer flight paths, you can sit and knit while you're on the flight path. Sometimes I'll just go to an inn and sit down and rest while I'm waiting for a dungeon to queue up, and I sit there and knit because I'm really just waiting for the dungeon. I don't really want to do anything else in the game that particular night. So there we go with that. So yeah, I tend to knit when I game. I knit when I'm waiting in line in a store, and sometimes if I'm just at a stoplight and the knitting is right there in my seat, I might pick it up and knit a couple of stitches. It's naughty, I know, but I do it. Don't judge. So anyway, so I have the clover color socks that I'm working on. I have this random, I forget what it is, colorway, same brand, Patton's Croy FX that I'm working on. I will try to find the ball band on this. I did get the cows finally, the cows I featured last week for my father-in-law, brother-in-law, both my fathers-in-law and my brother-in-law. The ends were woven in on those, and those are in the box and set to go. So those actually have already gone, or I would show them like finished. Especially the two, one for my brother-in-law Sean and the one for my father-in-law Paul, side by side, because they were the same color, but different patterns. So, oh well, those have already been in the box and shipped. We were like the last customer the post office took today. How lucky was that? Other finished objects, or I actually don't have any finished objects this week. I don't. I've been working on other stuff. I've been working on trying to get the Christmas gifts wrapped to go up to Massachusetts. I have been working on the socks. I've been trying to show my sweater a little bit of love. I hadn't worked on that in a while, so I was working on that. And I did not work on the crosswords at the coffee shop this week at all, because I'm waiting until tomorrow for the vigil, and I'm going to work on, I hope to finish the lace section tomorrow and get into the stockinette stitch, or I'm sorry, garter stitch section. I keep saying stockinette, but it's garter stitch. I did get myself something today that I really needed. I got a ball winder. I went up to my local yarn shop, the Yarn Garden in Lawrenceville, and I got a ball winder, and it's on a table back there, clamped down to a table, and it's a blessing. I don't have a yarn swift, so I had the yarn on the back of a chair earlier, and that was kind of a pain. But I did get my apothecary yarns balled up, and again, being a pain, it did get tangled at one point, so I snipped it after the main cake had gotten done, and then I very carefully untangled it and then balled up the last of it. So there, it was done in 2 balls. But it is, sorry for the crinkling. Let me just tell you. It is in the Candy Apples colorway. And it is classic sock 440 yards of fingering weight, and it is by Apothecary Yarns. And if you check out the show notes from last week, you will find a link to Apothecary Yarns. I don't think my links were working that well. I was copying the URL directly from the Etsy page, but then the links don't seem to be working. But if you just go to www.etsy.com and then type in the search Apothecary Yarns in the handmade, it'll come up. And also any of the other shops that I featured. If you like my nail, they're actually starting to chip on this hand a little bit because I'm so hard on my nails. But this is the hand where my nails are prettier anyway. So this is, remember I talked about last week the Muse's Alchemy. This is the handmade nail polish that my friend Pixie makes. That is the Big 3 chemical free. I did do a complete review of these polishes, and I will link that in the show notes because it's gorgeous. And like I said, I want to try to feature some indie shops on my blog. So there's that. And she is found on Etsy, www.etsy.com, etsy.com, and just search the Muse's Alchemy, and you will find her polishes. This is, and I don't think I can reach the bottles from where I am, but this is her Star Cluster colorway, 2 coats, with 2 coats of her linear hollow top coat, and this is a true hollow top coat, and out in the sun it kind of looks like an oil slick on my nails. It's a really very, very cool effect. I love it. So yeah, if you are into nail polish and want to try some the major carcinogenic chemical free stuff, no formaldehyde, no BPD, and I can't even pronounce the other chemical, check out her polishes for sure. You will not be disappointed. So moving on, also, if I wanted to feature some art fire shops this week, but I didn't have time to research any, unfortunately. But there is another shop, not really knitting related, but if you're looking, especially with the holidays coming up, some unusual gifts, maybe some candles, some teas, books, CDs, incense, stuff of more of a new age pagan nature, there is themysticcauldron.com, and that shop is run by 2 very, very good friends of mine, and they've had this shop in business for several years. I've bought many things. This actually came from that shop, and I have had this for over 10 years, and I still love it. I still get a lot of compliments on it. And I've bought many things from them in the past. They're one of my favorite go-to shops. If they don't have it, they'll find it. I mean, it's one of those things. If they don't have it, you're probably not going to find it anywhere. If it's out there, they probably already have it up there. I've never not found something that was interesting or really, and they have some high quality products as well. So definitely check out www.mysticcauldron.com if you're into that kind of thing. You will not be disappointed there either. It's really a nice little shop. So, kind of gotten off the knitting subject because my brain is like right now because it's getting on 1:20 in the morning. Let's see. Moving on. What was I going to cover next? I don't have any spinning this week at all. Did not spin this week. I'm actually still working on the Celtic Lux. Oh, sorry, I got cat. I have 4 cats and golden retrievers, so sometimes I have pet hair in my face, and it flies. I try. I'm not picking my nose, I promise. Yeah, no spinning this week. I am still working on the Celtic Lux. I just haven't spun any this week. I've been so busy that I haven't had a chance to sit down with the spindle. So we'll have some spinning next week. I actually hope to finish the Celtic Lux bat this week coming, so that next week I can A, show you the finished object, and B, show you a brand new spinning whip in progress, because I have some birthday fibers still on its way coming from the Fiber Nymph Dye Works. Lisa from also known as Fibronith on Plurk, and Fibronith Dyeworks at BigCartel.com, which is a site similar to Etsy. She had just done, it was Cyber Monday. I'm really sorry. I have such an itch, and I have cracked it. There we go. It was on my nose. Terrible. But I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah. She had a big update on Cyber Monday, and I kept it to one braid of fleece, but it was a beautiful color called, I want to say it's called Winter Garden, and I think I ordered the 4 ounces. She had like a 3.75 ounce and a 4 ounce. I think I got the 4 ounces of the Blue Face Leicester in the Winter Garden colorway. Really beautiful. I am waiting for that to come in. There was a little bit of a delay in shipping, but she already contacted me about it. She was so cool. I honestly have been so busy. I just figured it'll get here when it gets here. I'm still working on the Celtic Lots, and I only have one spindle because I just started spindling this year. I don't even have a wheel. I only have the one spindle, so I'm not really. It'll get here when it gets here. I'll spin it when it gets here. So, I will be featuring that next week because it is on its way. I did have delivery confirmed, so it's on its way. I should get it. I probably actually got it today, and I just haven't. It got delivered to my office, and I was off yesterday, right? Because it's Saturday morning now, technically. Okay, right. Okay, so yeah, so that's kind of it for the knitting segment this week. I didn't really have a whole lot. Oh, I did also order because, like I said, I tried magic looping. Oh, here we go. My brain's going brrr again. I did try magic looping on these needles, but the boy needles. First of all, these are not the size needles I normally knit socks with, so I'm kind of unhappy with that, but not totally. They're coming out fine. I think they're going to be totally dense enough. My toe's not going to come through that. But they do not have a smooth join at all. They are inexpensive needles. I want to say these were like $4.99 or something like that, US dollars. The join is not smooth. Then you have this cable, and then where it goes into the join, you've got like this bump that stuff catches on, and then you've got this joint right here that the yarn wants to catch in also. So I just find myself, whenever I go around the round, really fighting with these needles. And magic loop's a great process. I'm actually really enjoying it, but what I am not enjoying is the fiddliness of these needles. And if I actually can get to the end of this round, I can probably show you, although I doubt I'll bother because I'm about to move on. But yeah, it should be, knitting is a relaxation for me, and if I have to overly fight with my medium, it's not relaxing. So truly, I'm gonna finish the sock, and I'm gonna do another sock to match it so that I have a pair of socks, but then I will not magic loop with these anymore. I do have from Loopy U, I had some Hiya on, I had some Hiya Sharps, actually, circulars, in my wish list for the Loopy U, but they have been sold out and they have not come back in stock yet. And I'm really wanting to cast on these, and I wanted to magic loop, and I wanted to do it right. So what I did was I got some Knitter's Pride Dreams circulars in a size 1, because I actually prefer having knitted with the size 0. They're a little bit too small of a stitch for me. So I ordered the size 1 in the magic loop length. I want to say it's a 40-inch cable. I'll know for sure when they come in. I did order those over the weekend, and so I hope they come in, because out of that Candy Apples yarn, I'm hoping to get a pair of socks for me out of it, and also a pair for my little one. So yeah. So again, you know, I just kind of want to do it where I'm not fighting with, you know, the join or anything like that. So yeah, we'll let you know how that goes. So we'll keep up with the magic looping. And I'm probably going to do, I haven't decided whether I was going to do the heel turn, you know, the gusset with the heel turn and everything as the directions for this sock that I happen to have gotten on my Ravelry, and I'll link that pattern in here as well. It's just a plain vanilla sock, but I'm probably just going to circumvent that and do an afterthought heel because I kind of like that too. So yeah, I'll probably do that. So moving on this week, aside from knitting, working really hard, finishing up my degree. Oh my gosh, I still have my capstone to do. I have a 15 slide presentation, and then I have my executive summary to do. So I'm really like, oh, I've got 2 days left to do it, and I'll be fine. I'll get it done. But really, I'm not looking forward to it. And as we're moving toward the half-hour mark on this, and I really need to get to bed, because you know what? I have to get up for work. I have to get up for work at 6 tomorrow morning. Shower, get dressed, take the dog, drop her off at the groomer, and then go to work. Because my poor dog, she's here somewhere. She's stinky. Poor thing, she's very stinky. And her hair is starting to get a little out of control. I want to clean up her paws and, you know, her little booty area and make her look all pretty. Because, you know, Santa Claus pictures. Alora had her Santa Claus pictures last weekend, and oh yes, I am one of those. I will totally take, PetSmart has a Santa paws. This guy in a Santa suit at PetSmart where you can take your pets to go have pictures taken. And I remember a few years ago it was only like $10 for a picture. I'm so going to take Harley because that is just too cute for words. It really is. I'm likely to sit little Aria on one of my cats who is like my dog's best friend. They go outside together. I have to put her on the harness and they go outside together. I'm probably going to sit them both on Santa's lap together. It's going to be too cute. We'll see how that goes. There may be pictures to show you next week, if you care. Maybe if you don't care, there'll be pictures, because I like them. I think they're cute. So anyway, moving right along. The geek section of the Woolley Geek. I have, with the help of our roommate B, I've got a pretty extensive review of Mists of Pandaria from World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft has been around for a long time. It is now in its 4th expansion. There is what's known as the original World of Warcraft. Oh my god, can't speak. Known in the group as Vanilla WoW. So anybody that plays WoW knows it as the vanilla version. Then there was the Burning Crusade, which was the very first expansion, and that's when I started playing. I'm a BC child, or as we're called, the BCers in the game. And then after that was Wrath of the Lich King. And then Cataclysm. Oh, okay, so there's the main game and 3 expansions. So I lied. There's actually 5 total games now. There was main game and 4 expansions. I don't know. But anyway, after the Wrath of the Lich King, after you defeat the Lich King, then Deathwing the Dragon rose up from the center of Azeroth and broke the planet. That was Cataclysm, also called Cata by anybody who plays the game. So you might hear it referred to as Cata a lot, or I might say Cata. I'm referring to Cataclysm. Then there's the newest expansion, which came out a few months ago, called Mists of Pandaria. And the Mists of Pandaria is about, well, there's a race of pandas now. Panda bears. I am not kidding. Panda bears in Azeroth. And when those of us that play the game first got the news from Blizzard that they were going to start a race of pandas, we were all thinking, oh great, Blizzard's going Kung Fu Panda in Azeroth. This is going to blow. It is. A few of us even swore that we would probably quit playing the game at that point if it was true. At the time it was just a rumor. Well, I take it back. I take it all back. Any nasty thing that I may have ever said about these pandas, I take it back. Because it turned out it wasn't a rumor, it was true. They really did create a race of pandas, and they're pretty darn cool. The story is actually really good. That's one of the good parts of the review. You know how Game Informer does the good, the bad, and the ugly? Well, they probably have that copyrighted, but I like that format. So we're sort of doing something like that, but what B and I came up with was the epic, let me refer to my notes here. There is the what's epic. Then we have the WTF. I almost said it. I can't say it. The WTF. What were they thinking when they did this? Blizzard, really? And then there is the oh my god, fail. So here we go. Under what's epic is the storyline. The storyline from Miss Pandera is really quite epic. Another thing that's epic is the panda race is neutral until level 12. So you do not have to pick a fight. You do stay in your home territory until level 12, which the other races approximately like level 8 to 10 you can get out of your home territory. You do stay in your home territory until level 12. You have to go through a series of training and things like that, and different things that you do around, and it builds up to the actual story, like how you get a chance to choose your faction. Because when you get close to the end of about level 10 to 12, I want to say, yeah, about level either 9 or 10 to 12 is when the other races are sort of introduced, because they have crash landed their Zeppelin. There was a group of Horde people, Tauren and Orcs, that were held prisoner by the humans, and they were all on a Zeppelin going somewhere, probably back to Silvermoon to face trial and go to prison, whatever. I'm not really sure about that. That's a little fuzzy. But they crash land onto this island called the Wandering Island. And I'll tell you why it's called the Wandering Island in a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, so if you haven't played the game, I'm not really revealing a new spoiler. Game Informer revealed this spoiler like before the game came out. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. But they have crash landed, so they're sort of stranded on this island, and then you come across them and you help them out. And you help out both sides at that point because you're still neutral. But what the Wandering Island is, and why this is such a big deal, and why you have to help them out. It's not really to be nice and help them out. It's kind of self-serving, because your island is dying, because they have crash landed their Zeppelin into the oldest living turtle on Azeroth. This turtle is so old and so massive that it has its own ecosystem on its shell, which is where your village is. So yeah, you play your first 12 levels on the back of this massive turtle, and you have to find a way to get this Zeppelin out of his back and heal him. And then after that, you are allowed to choose a faction, and you're asked to choose a faction and then to go to either area of Azeroth to then quest after that. But yeah, so the first 12 levels, you do have to do every quest in order to choose a faction. If you skip one, I think something happens where you have to go back and do it or whatever. You've got to do it. You do have to do every quest. They introduced a new class into the race, the monks. They're sort of like a they're kung fu. They're a Shaolin monk kind of character. They're broken. That is also epic. They are broken. They level quickly. You can DPS. I think you can tank. I think the Rune Master might be tank. But you can DPS, you can tank, you can go straight heals. They're awesome. Awesome. So yeah, they're really good. They also with Miss, they sort of, I think they buffed the shaman a little bit. I do have a shaman character, panda character, on the, I think it's on the Winter server. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry. You know, it's like 1:37. So yeah, it's 1:37 a.m. I should say. I should be going to bed soon. Should have been in bed a couple hours ago. But I love you guys. And the shaman is also leveling quickly, and I'm level 20 something. No, yeah, something like that. And the dungeons that I have run, I've done Ragefire twice. I've done Wailing Caverns. Anyway, and Wailing Caverns is a long dungeon. I have not had to go back for mana. My mana regen is really good, so that's pretty epic. What's really nice is between level 86 to 87, you get to go to the Half Hill Market back on the island of Pandaria. No, I'm sorry, not on the island, but you do go to the continent where Pandaria is. But there's the Half Hill Market, and I think there's a quest that you do, but you get to start a farm. You get to farm. And on the farm is called the Sun Song Ranch, and you get to grow food for your cooking, and actually another thing that's epic, it has to do with your cooking profession. But you grow your food. Also on the ranch you have a yak. Now for us knitters there, we're like, oh my god, you can shear the yak. No, Blizzard didn't take it that far. We might have to, as a community, get together and say, hey Blizzard, you know, we could shear that yak, spin the wool, and add it to the tailoring profession. What do you think about that? I think it should. You should totally be able to knit as part of the tailoring profession. Or maybe it should be a profession unto itself. So, yes. Blizzard, when you create the next expansion, think about adding a new profession. Knitting. Trust me, it will go well. If you knit it, they will play. Anyway, moving on. Dude, I'm getting slap happy now. But yeah, you get to grow your own food. Oh, you also, in addition to the yak, you have a sheep. So yeah, totally. They need to add knitting to this, right? So let's see. We've talked about the monks being broken. We talked about Sun Song Ranch. We talked about Half Hill Market. Ooh, at level, no, not level. When you build up your cooking profession, here we go. When you build up your cooking profession, I'm reading off of notes here because I'm that tired. Excuse me. You get 50 Iron Paw tokens. When you get those 50 Iron Paw tokens, you use those to buy a cook. Yeah. You don't have to do all your own cooking anymore. You can hire a cook. Seriously. What you do is you buy a school bell, and with that school bell, you train a cook. Yeah. It's really cool. It's the cooking school bell. You have to complete the mastery of all 6 ways of Pandaren cooking. So you have to be master chef and then master all 6 ways of Pandaren cooking. And then you get to cash in those Iron Paw tokens and then get your cook. Also, what else is epic? If you get revered in any of the Pandaren factions, you can buy commendations of that faction. And then that you use it to gain 100% reputation bonus to all tunes on your account. That is bind to account. I like that. That's really epic. Your world bosses, they have added more world bosses, and they're not always in the dungeon. You may run into these world bosses while you're questing, from what I understand. I have to get Brian to clarify that a little bit more. He did tell me, though, don't pull one of these bosses if you're not in a group. Even the toughest warrior will squish like grape. We're not kidding. Don't pull the world boss if you're alone. Just remember that. Let's see what else is really cool. There's a talking turtle. The island, also known as Senjinsu, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. He talks. You get to have a conversation with him before you're level 12. I think it's right around level 10. That's kind of cool. And so yeah, that's now we're entering into Blizzard. What were you thinking? The WTF. Upon landing in Pandora, the continent of Pandora, there's this creature you have to battle, and it takes like 2 to 3 minutes to down him. Really? Because by the time you get there, you're at a high enough level, you should be able to take care of him like that. So, that's sort of just like, okay. By the time the 2 to 3 minutes is up, you're like, wow. And just what did I get out of that? Not a lot. So that's sort of like, does that creature even need to be there? No. Also, there needs to be more flight paths on the continent. There's not enough flight paths. Yeah, it takes you forever to go anywhere. So some more taxis on the island would be awesome. You know, you can get anywhere in Undercity by taking a bat taxi. You can get anywhere in the Alliance territory by a Griffin taxi. There needs to be, you know, some Cloud Serpent taxis in there somewhere, please. So, more taxis. So maybe with the next patch or something, there'll be some more taxis if a bunch of us complain. Also, they cut the amount of Valor points. You can still get Valor points. They cut the amount of Valor points that you earn in a dungeon down to 80. So I think it was like 120. So they cut it down to 80. However, the recession has apparently also hit Azeroth. Because not only did your Valor points get cut down to 80 per week in a dungeon, but they didn't lower the Valor point price of the Valor point armor. What? Really? You're going to cut our Valor points? You could at least run a sale on the Valor armor. But no. It's a recession, folks. Even in fantasy worlds. So, yeah. Your armor still costs the same, but you gotta work that much harder to get it. It's like, okay, Blizzard, really? Did you think this one through before you put it in there? No, you didn't. The design team of Blizzard also gets an Epic Fail Award. They get an Epic Fail Award for, they put Valor points in scenarios. It was good in theory, but not really in practice. It's really a fail. So, whatever. The fails of Mists of Pandora, as we're going on to 1:45 in the morning. We're wrapping this up. But with the number of add-ons that they have that can interface with your game, such as the ones from Curse Client, from Wowhead, I think Wowhead's got theirs. We use Curse Client. They have not included a user-friendly interface where the user can completely customize their add-on package. It would really be cool. You can do it from Curse. You can exit out of the game. Like, not exit out of the game, but you can log off of your tune and go in to the add-ons from there. Or you can hit the escape key and go into the add-ons from there. Oh, excuse me. But you can't customize it. You have Bartender 4 and a few other add-ons that can help some, but it's not really that great. You still have the bars that you're working with. You can click them and snap them kind of where you want them, but it's not. It would really be nice to be able to put stuff anywhere that would be convenient for the player. And sometimes only a player that plays a particular tune and does certain things with it really knows where their buttons are going to be most convenient for them. So really a better user interface that allows the user more control over interfacing with their tune would be really good. A single add-on versus like the 4 to 5 Curse uses. A single add-on. That's all we ask. Is that so hard? Just some Java code. Really. Some C+ if you're into Linux. Seriously, it's not that hard. Well, actually, I say it's not that hard, but it is. Says the girl who like hates coding because it's the worst headache ever. Totally hate coding. Won't do it. Ever. Anyway. Also, if you're an inscriptionist, which there should be, if you're running on multiple servers, have one tune on each server that's an inscriptionist that can supply stuff to your other tunes, because it's really a good good profession. Not kidding. But the production rate of misty pigment sucks. It sucks. You can mill 96 stacks of 20 apiece of the various herbs that you might get 20 misty pigments out of it. You gotta go through that much? No. We're not saying get misty pigment every time, but could we maybe make it 30% misty pigment? That'd be awesome. Because you need the misty pigment to make Starlight ink. And Starlight ink is used for a bunch of stuff. So, that would be helpful. And in closing, the Epic Good Award, the oh my god, it's fabulous that Blizzard gets, is you get a little baby cloud serpent. There's a quest that you can do, that you can adopt a little baby cloud serpent. And you love him, and you pet him, and you raise him, and you call him George. Whatever, I'm going too far. But anyway, you raise this baby cloud serpent, and then he can become a mount when he's fully grown. Awesome! You get a new mount. Kind of a little bit like the little raptor mount, I think, in Angora Crater. But the cloud serpent does not take as long to raise from a baby. So, yeah, that was good. Because by the time you get done with that raptor mount, dude, you've got a better mount already. The raptor's just there for kicks and giggles. So that's a segment this week. Again, Arla and Diane, contact me either through Facebook or through Ravelry. Let me know what $5 pattern that you want, and I will gift it to you. Because, you know, you guys are really cool anyway. Thank you for my viewers who saw me last week, who are returning this week. I hope you're returning. I hope you enjoyed this segment this week. I promise to have at least one finished object next week. Okay, it's like almost 2 in the morning, so maybe I'm crazy sauce here, but you know what? I'm going to try to do one finished object next week for you. I'm going to have some new spinning to show you next week, and I hope that finished object is a pair of socks or the crosswords shawl. Anyway, it is now 1:49 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and I'm signing off for the week. Bye-bye.